This tutorial, we're going to take a simple high-resolution scan of a dollar bill and turn that into an off-the-wall, all-over distressed grunge type of t-shirt print. Very simple project. We can do it very quickly, yet we can create a really cool design like we have on this all-over t-shirt print set up in Photoshop. And all we did was take a high-resolution scan of a dollar bill, converted that, and we created a cracked or distressed custom brush in Photoshop, and then we applied some crack and distress effects, as you can see here. So we'll do all of this in this tutorial. Take us a few minutes, and we'll go ahead and we'll start with our dollar bill. I'll go ahead and minimize this, and I've got my dollar bill here. And the first thing I want to do with this is I scan this at high resolution. I want to go ahead and crop this, so all I've got is George Washington's face area here, because that's all I'm going to work with. So I'll just go to my crop tool. That's the fifth one down in the toolbar here. Go ahead and select the area, left click, drag and release, and I'll select the area I want to crop, and then just double click. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here. I'll come down here and click on my zoom tool, and we'll just click a couple times here with the left mouse button and zoom in. I want to take this image, go to image and mode, and I want to convert this to a grayscale, and we'll go ahead and discard our information. The next thing I want to do is I want to adjust the levels on this. So I'll go to image, adjustments, and levels. And you'll notice that when the levels comes up here, we've got a couple of different bars we can slide here with. And you'll notice as I left click, hold down and slide that, I'm adjusting the tone or the brightness, contrast, and intensity of my image here. Now, I got rid of a lot of the peripheral data I want to get rid of there. Now I'm going to come over here to the left. That's coming from the white slider here. You notice that'll adjust that. And then I'll come over here to the black slider. I'll put levels and come in the other way and darken this up. So I'm able to make a very quick adjustment here using levels on the gray. The best thing to do is open this up and just experiment with it using some grayscale images, and you'll see how it works and get a feel for it very quickly. I'm going to select OK. The next thing I want to do is I actually want to take this image and knock it out, give it a transparent background. And I'll bring that into my t-shirt design. So what I'm going to do next, very simply, is I'm going to go to an action that I have up in my actions palette here, and that's called whiteout. Now I create this action to knock the white out of grayscale objects, so all I have is my black or gray color left. Now this is covered in another tutorial on artamp.com. That's artamp.com. It's in the Photoshop tutorial sections under creating vintage t-shirt designs. There's a design or an icon image there with a vintage Joker t-shirt design there. And if you take that tutorial, you'll be able to see how I made this whiteout script, be able to work with this. So once I've selected this action from my actions, what I want to do is just go ahead and run this, and we'll go ahead and process this image into a grayscale image with no white, a transparent background. And if I come down here and I'll click and right click and I'll fit on screen, you can see now I've got a transparent background. Now this script keeps a copy of my background, which I've got here. We've also got this up at very high resolution. Now, if I was really designing this to set up for a t-shirt, I'd probably run at this resolution to print an all over t-shirt. But for the sake of the tutorial, so Photoshop will process things quicker, I'm going to go ahead and bring my resolution down. So I'm going to go to image, and I'll go to image size, and I'm going to change this from 900 to 200 and select OK, and that'll bring this image down for me. Because if I was printing on something as big as a full t-shirt, I'd need a lot of resolution to hold my detail. I'll go ahead and minimize this. I'll bring my t-shirt back up here. I'm going to go ahead and delete the layer that I have the current George Washington on here. We'll delete that. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and then I'm just going to drag and drop. Come over here and just left click, hold down on the George Washington, and then drag that into my t-shirt comp image and release. I've got George Washington set up to go on my t-shirt, as you can see here. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit Control T to transform and resize him. Now if I want to constrain him, I can hold down my Shift key, and while I'm transforming, I'll keep the same size. If I don't hold down Shift key, I can resize any way I want, warp it or change the image. But I'm going to hold down Shift and resize that way. I want to come right about to here, which is the actual size of the t-shirt. Now you can see I've got George Washington set up to one side here. We'll left click up here on our select tool and we'll click apply. Now with this selected and set up like this, the next thing I want to do is I want to create a distress or a crack type distress brush. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go ahead and open some texture files. And I've got some texture files. I took a bunch of pictures a while, and I really like to create my own textures and have a lot of control